Most med spa owners think the reason they're not growing is because they just need more leads. But the truth is, guys, more leads don't matter unless they're financially qualified. After working with over 200 med spas and helping a dozen of them scale to 100K per month, and even co-operating a med spa that eventually went on to sell for a couple million in 2023, I've seen one pattern over and over again. The clinics that grow consistently are not the ones chasing the volume. They are the ones attracting the right buyers automatically. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, including how to use meta ads the right way, how to filter out price shoppers, and a little bit of how to automate the whole process so that you can focus on working on the business instead of in the business. And stick around because throughout the video, I'll show you the top mistakes that cause med spa owners to get unqualified leads. And I'll even show you a couple changes we've made in some recent clinics to skyrocket their marketing. And I'll even give you a live example of one of my med spas that went from 0 booked appointments to 52 appointments in 12 days using these exact frameworks. So let's just be realistic here, guys. Most med spa owners are falling in that 0 to 15K per month mark, and they're essentially struggling with getting financially qualified leads. There's a big gap in between where you are or where they are. And ideally get into that situation where you're doing 100K per month and you're actually profitable, right? So I want to talk about that huge gap and essentially what's in between, right? Now, as I mentioned, a lot of this stuff is just coming from me working with 200 plus med spas. I've got 50 in the portfolio right now. And I do want to just start off by saying that the most profitable channel at the moment for med spas to get qualified leads and just a bunch of booked appointments is hands down Meta. It's not Google, it's not TikTok, it's not Pinterest, whatever you've been sold. It's Meta. And the reason for that is Meta just has so much data. Essentially, you can force ads in front of people that didn't even know they needed a product. That's super powerful. Where on the flip side, Google is a situation where they have to go looking for the product. You leave a lot of money on the table with platforms like that. Not to mention, Meta has the most data. They've been around the longest. They know everything about us. Just don't make your life hard. Just stick with Meta if you're below that 100K per month mark. But look, guys, the channel isn't enough. Like, it's about how you run ads on that channel that determine the type of quality leads that you get on autopilot. And most med spa owners just run ads the wrong way, or they hire inexperienced marketers that have no idea what they're doing. So they're just getting a bunch of cheap leads and it's just not converting into dollars. So really quick, I'll just break down the overall process for getting a bunch of financially qualified leads. So I just want to go into how do you ensure Meta actually gets the results? Like, how do we actually get the leads, right? Really as simple as this. You want to prove an offer so good that you get a bunch of flow of people in your area trying to take up your service. Now, if you don't have a good offer, I promise you, you will cannibalize your results. Do not try to run a super high ticket offer on the front end. You won't get enough leads coming through for you to begin to funnel and filter down the most qualified leads. If you have a small amount of leads coming through and then you try to filter down even further, you're just going to end up with no appointments and no money in the end. So I know it seems sexy to do that on the front end, but look, I've spent millions of dollars in Facebook ads on for med spas, and I promise you that's not the way you want to do it. So, a nice intro offer, proven offer on the front end. It doesn't have to be a crazy discount. Then you want a proven ad strategy. If you're running ads the same way as other clinics, your targeting is the same, your strategy is the same, your ads look the same, then it's likely that your advertising campaign is a commodity. There's nothing special about it. There's nothing valuable about it, which is probably why you're just getting crappy results. So, you want custom videos of yourself. This is an example of a completely AI generated model video. And you want to pair that up, like I said, with unique messaging and targeting. Now, once you have that offer, you have those great ads and great strategy, you want to be driving those people to a landing page. If you're using a lead form, it's great for testing, maybe 5 to 7 days to see if your offer is good. After that, send all of the traffic to a landing page that educates the patient on the price, the actual process for booking an appointment, and just directs them to book an appointment in a high quality way. This is how we're going to raise that quality, right? Now, after that, you just want to use a bunch of automations to reduce the amount of follow-up that you have to do or your receptionist has to do, because you definitely don't want that. And we'll talk a little bit more about this later. Guys, this is really all you need to do to actually get leads on autopilot. Now, here's the main thing. people get leads, but they don't get quality leads. So I want to talk about a couple unique mechanisms that we use in our program for our med spa owners to get them financially qualified leads, because anyone can get leads, but how do we get leads that actually can afford our service, right? So let's just talk about unique mechanisms that we're using right now to financially qualify the leads ahead of time. As I mentioned before, the better the ads, the better the type of people that you are going to attract. Every single ad that you guys are seeing here are completely generated through AI. A lot of clinic owners are still using Canva stock ads, and that's why they can't attract high quality patients. All of these great looking ads here are actually generated through AI. And this is one of our unique mechanisms that just allow our clinics to crush the others. Using creative AI generated ads alone will allow you to filter out a lot of those tire kickers and just get more serious people, because the AI model is doing the selling for you. It's overviewing the treatment, it's overviewing your clinic, it's doing a full on consultation explanation in the ad, right? And if you guys are still running cheap Canva ads, it's just not going to do that. So that's step number one, is you want to have AI powered video and photo ads can work as well. I love video ads, photo ads can work, but I'm seeing right now that strong AI generated photo ads are absolutely crushing. Now, moving on to mechanism number two, that is going to be who you target. If you target like everyone else, you'll get the results that everyone else is getting. And as I mentioned before, that means there's nothing special about your marketing campaign. So what we do with our clinics is we give them access to our proprietary targeting, which we call Superlist AI targeting. Now, you can find your own unique way to target. This is just our unique way of targeting. And essentially how this works is very simple, guys. I've worked with 200 med spas over the last 6 years. Every time that a patient comes into one of those med spas and pays them at least $500 to $1,000 in the consultation, I zap that patient's information to a database. That database has been growing over the last 6 years, and it's now become a super list. This is essentially given my clinics franchise level data so that when I go into a new market, I know exactly who to target and I know who's financially qualified, because I just go to Facebook and use AI and say, hey, find people in Los Angeles that look like this super list that we've already developed. Whereas all of our competitors, they're just targeting women 40 and above, trying to figure out why they're getting the most generic leads, right? They're getting the leads, but they're not financially qualified. And you kind of got to ask yourself, like, what mechanism am I using to financially qualify them? Right. So this is just our method. And I will say this is our secret edge. What you develop is going to be your secret edge. And this is why some of our clinics are able to generate $7 to $12 leads consistently. And others are paying $30 for cheap leads that don't even book, right? Now, mechanism number three is going to be contrarian copywriting. And most clinics will just advertise discounts. But what you actually need to do is advertise your offer based on where your ideal patient is in the awareness level. Okay. Now, this doesn't get taught because a lot of agencies that you work with actually have no idea what this means. So let me break this down. You can attract more financially qualified patients, and you can attract more of your market once you understand these 4 stages of awareness and you create messaging. Awareness level 1 is unaware. This means that the person that you're marketing to has no idea that they have a problem, and you're essentially creating that problem through this awareness messaging. Now, number 2 is going to be problem aware. This is where most marketers default to, which is, are you struggling with fine lines or wrinkle? That's problem aware marketing, but you need to tap into the top of the funnel, which is unaware as well. Number 3 is going to be solution aware, which is, are you looking for Botox? Number 4 is going to be decision making, which is like our clinic versus their clinic. You need to tackle all 4 levels if you want to get the most financially qualified people. And honestly, if you just want to tap into the whole market, because some of you guys are only just talking about discounts and you're only just talking to people who know they have a problem. What about the other 3 stages you're missing out on? So our unique mechanism is contrarian copywriting that hits all awareness levels. And I'll say you guys are going to get 3 times the engagement. Your ads are going to be 65% more memorable. And also you're just going to get twice the conversion rate as your competitors, because I promise you, no one is thinking at this level in your area. So that's our unique mechanism. And we do that in our marketing. Okay. And I kind of got a little bit of an example here of unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware. So if you want to just stop and kind of check that out, this is another good example of that here. Now, mechanism number 4 for getting financially qualified leads on autopilot is going to be using a proven bank of offers. Some of you guys are just testing out any and everything. You don't know what works. You're hoping that 19-year-old who's doing your marketing or that random kid who's doing your marketing has some idea of what actually works, but they don't, which is why your marketing is not working and you're getting a bunch of low quality leads. You need to work with someone who actually has a proven bank of offers that work. And when I say work, I don't mean just generating leads. I mean works as in they have this offer and they can attach how much revenue they've actually made with that offer. If you're just testing things out based on crafting things on ChatGPT, it's not actually proven. It's just kind of theory. So I would say this seems simple, but this is one of our unique mechanisms. And one of the mechanisms that we use is just running offers that are based on the millions of dollars that we've generated in the industry over the last 6 years. And some of the offers we even ran in the first clinic I was co-operating in that we got to $150K per month. A great offer doesn't just get leads, it actually gets the right leads. Now, the 5th mechanism that you guys want to be using is custom thank you pages and welcome videos. We're using this in a bunch of our clinics, and I actually personally use this in my business to ensure that we get the highest quality med spa owners coming through our funnel. So essentially, most med spas leads to a black hole after they become a lead. There's no expectations being set. There's no what we do, who we are, some of the patients we work with. You want all of that to happen after someone becomes a lead, because it raises the likelihood that they are going to spend more money with you. And it's not manipulation. It's just people spend more with the people that they trust. So one way of building that trust is to create a video on the thank you page that allows you to do so. Along with a couple other things, you have the video, you have social proof, before and afters, different case studies of people that you've actually worked with and helped. You can do frequently asked questions and any more social proof that you want to throw in there that you feel will help you with that know, like, trust factor, because you do need that. And a really good example of this in a med spa scenario is one of our clients, Cindy. You can see a couple frames from her video where we're essentially introducing her clinic, her treatments, setting expectations on her no-show policy. And this is really huge for financially qualifying those leads and getting them more excited to spend high ticket rather than low ticket. Now, here's where most med spa owners actually burn out, is they just try to do everything, all the follow-up, everything manually, or they're just not doing it correctly. Now that you have these 5 incredible mechanisms, you definitely want to make sure that your automations are intact, because that will do a lot of the heavy lifting for you. So I recommend adding in an AI agent that can do text and calls on your behalf to essentially respond to leads instantly, pre-financially qualify them. Or instead of AI, you can use a virtual appointment setter, which is essentially a trained sales rep from an offshore country. Now, what a lot of people do is they hire a virtual assistant. They try to get them to book appointments, and it doesn't work, because there's a huge difference between a virtual assistant and a virtual appointment setter. One does task, one is trained to sell. So, AI agents, virtual assistants are a great way to automate financially qualifying these leads that you're now getting on autopilot. We've been doing both of these with our clinics in the last few years, and they both work really well. It's more just which one you resonate with. And guys, financially qualified leads are not about luck. It's not about hoping the right people find you. It's about the right ads, the right offer, the right messaging, the right nurturing, and all the other things that we discussed up to this point. When all of these things align, it becomes really easy to get financially qualified people coming through on autopilot. And I just want to give you guys a couple examples of some clinics that we're working with within the last 2 to 4 weeks here. A good example is Sandra is a Canadian clinic that we were working with who actually use all of these mechanisms and book 50 appointments in only 12 days. We actually just did a cool case study on our channel with her. You can go watch the full video of her and I talking about her results. Another one is Shelby. She's another med spa owner that we were working with, implemented all of these mechanisms, or at least 2 to 3 of these mechanisms, to turn around her results that she wasn't getting before joining our program. We ended up growing our med spa to 15K per month after only 2 months. And now we're continuously looking for solutions to double that and get her to that next level. So these are just a couple examples of when these mechanisms align and when you do marketing correctly. And if you are someone looking for a new med spa growth system, maybe what you're doing right now isn't working, you're getting a bunch of unqualified leads, we could jump on a call and introduce our systems to you, some of the ones you've already seen in this video, and essentially see if it's a good fit. Now, a caveat is we only work with one med spa per treatment, so it's a possibility that we could be working with your competitors. So it's just best to click the link below, jump on a call, see if that is the case. And if it's not, we'd love to have you in the program so that we can help you hit your goals as fast as possible. Otherwise, guys, hopefully you just enjoyed the value in this video. Pass it along to someone you feel could be helped. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.